Hi, I'm Chris James, and today we're going to be talking about the yo-yo diet. We're missing a piece of the puzzle.
You start getting healthy and you just become a better person.
We need to start focusing more on the individual.
Okay, real quick, everybody. For those of you who are looking for a comprehensive way to learn about fasting, whether it's learning about how to prep for fasting, how to break your fast, how long you should fast, what you should eat when you're not fasting, make sure to check out the AHA Fasting Academy. That's ahafastingacademy.com, where I've got all of that information put in a very comprehensive, easily digestible format for you all. And it's a great community growing over there. You guys should definitely check it out. All right, so that's that. So today I wanted to touch on this subject of the yo-yo diet. We talk about the Atkins diet, we talk about the carnivore diet, we talk about fruit-based diets, et cetera, but we never really talk about the yo-yo diet. And it's not something that anybody really is interested in learning about or talking about, because we see the yo-yo diet as a diabolical creature, right? Like nobody wants to be on the yo-yo diet, but yet we all tend to end up there at one time or another. So I think it would be prudent of us to actually talk about the yo-yo diet. And more specifically today, we're going to be talking about how to avoid the yo-yo diet. Okay, so simply put, what is the yo-yo diet? It is essentially where you eat your typical food, whatever that is. You've gotten sick, unhealthy, gained weight, et cetera. And so you've decided that you're going to try a different diet. Doesn't matter what the diet is. Usually it's something that's better than what you've been doing. So if you've been eating the standard American diet, you would then switch to like a plant-based diet or a vegan diet, et cetera. And so where the yo-yo diet comes into place is where you would actually switch from your normal diet to a plant-based diet, and then switch back to a normal diet, and then switch back to a plant-based diet or even a vegan diet, or switch back to your normal diet and then switch back to a fruit-based diet. And you're just going back and forth and back and forth, just like a yo-yo goes up and down and up and down. So that's where the yo-yo diet comes in. And so now that you understand what it is, you could probably identify whether or not that's you. But typically, we've all kind of yo-yoed here or there. I know I have, especially before I was really serious about my wellness. I would try things and then I'd bounce back. I'd lose a little weight, then I'd gain a little weight. I'd exercise and eat right, then I'd gain weight and eat, fast food or whatever. And it is a cycle that we all get stuck in but don't want to be in. So, with that being said, how do you avoid the yo-yo diet? Now, in my position, I've had opportunity to work with a lot of people who are dealing with this. And what I have found is the people who deal with the yo-yoing more often than not are typically those who believe that they either have to do something all in or nothing at all. So if you're the type of person who is hot or cold, there's no lukewarm, there's no in between, there's no balance, you're more prone to this yo-yo diet. And my best suggestion for avoiding the yo-yo diet is to really go against the grain, because your natural inclination is to go all in, go hard or go home, and you really have to create balance. So what does that look like? For me, it was a transitional period where I would incorporate whatever diet that I was looking to adopt. So early on, it was the alkaline foods. And I would take a period of time where I would learn about alkaline foods while still eating the unhealthy stuff. And I would try different recipes. I would incorporate different recipes that included all alkaline foods into my daily regimen. So maybe for dinner, I would have an alkaline meal, but for lunch, I would have my traditional food truck meal. Because at the time I was working as an electrician, and the Mexican food trucks would come around, and I'd get pupusas and burritos, and man, that stuff was good, but it wasn't good for me, man. It messed my stomach up and all those other things. So that's what I would do. And what I found to be of the utmost importance is just to make sure that you found foods that were attractive to you. If you're into savory dishes, take the time, find alkaline savory dishes, right? Or whatever diet plan that you want to adopt. Take the time to find what fits those parameters. And obviously, it's healthier than what you're eating now. Now, the thing that you need to remember is that this is going to take you a while. And the other thing that you want to make sure that you're telling yourself is that this is a lifestyle change. So, one important point is whatever changes you make, take baby steps and make sure that the baby steps that you're taking are changes that you're willing to maintain for the long haul. So if you're like, okay, I want to stop eating meat, and you're like, I could do beef, I could do fish, but chicken, I don't know about, then don't mess with chicken. Okay. Just commit to refraining from eating beef and fish, and then continue to eat your chicken. And then what I would suggest is you just reduce the frequency at which you eat this food. So if you have chicken with 3 meals a day, reduce the frequency down to 2 meals a day, and then reduce the frequency down to 1 meal a day, and then reduce the frequency down to 3 meals a week, and so on and so forth until you have created a realistic schedule for you to where you don't get overwhelmed by the cravings of eating chicken. And that's exactly what I did when I was eliminating meat. I didn't say, okay, today I'm going to just stop eating meat. Now, you could do that, and some people do, but it was a gradual decrease of how much meat I ate with my foods. Now, there's two things that's happening here. Number one, you are getting used to not eating this meat or whatever with every single meal, and you're getting your body used to the other foods. The other thing you're doing is you're learning how to supplement your meals with whatever else you need to supplement it with in order to be satisfied. So one of the things people say to me all the time is, Chris, I don't want to eat healthy because I like eating, I like food. That statement is so ignorant, for the simple fact that the foods I eat now are vastly more unique than the foods I used to eat. Meaning that when I was eating meat and I was eating dairy and I was eating fast food, I would essentially eat the same 5 or 6 meals over and over and over. Yeah, you might have different formats. For example, I might have baked chicken instead of fried chicken. I might have steamed chicken instead of baked chicken, right? Or I might have fried fish instead of baked fish, or a hamburger instead of a steak. But that's not really variety. Like it's the same food prepared different ways, and that's what I found to be the case, and I bet you that's the case for you all too. Now, there's a few people out there who are real serious foodies, and they like traveling and trying different foods, and I understand that. The beauty of changing your diet is when you go to a different culture. So you're like a real serious foodie and you like different foods from different cultures. There's a vegetarian version of pretty much every culture, right? Because people are using different spices and different vegetables and different things. So you're not limiting yourself. We just think we're limiting ourselves. The only thing that you're really doing is removing certain types of foods, but you could still enjoy a vast variety of foods. And then because I had to make this lifestyle change, and because I changed my diet and things like this, I actually learned to cook like way better. I'm a much better cook. I can go downstairs and there could be little to nothing in there, but as long as I got my seasonings and maybe a little grain or something, I could put something amazing together. So I'm I tell people all the time, my quality of living is increased from changing my diet, which is something that you wouldn't expect. It's the complete opposite. And then, like I said, we go back to people who are like more like ignorant to all of this, right? And that's not to be mean. It's just what it is. You just don't know. They think, oh, salads are what healthy people eat. I very rarely eat salads. I love salads. Don't get me wrong. I think salads are great, but I don't eat salads every day. If you think that the only way to eat healthy is eating a salad, then you need to learn more. You need to expose yourself to the vast majority of all the varieties of foods out there. Learn how to cook different things, buy equipment to prepare new meals, and there's a way to replace anything that you were eating with your typical diet. There's a healthy alternative for it. Now, with that being said, I wouldn't get too much into like the alternative meats and things like that, because now we're getting into a lot of the processed foods, and processed foods are not healthy, period. It doesn't matter if it's plant-based or not. I do have some of the plant-based meat substitutes from time to time, but what I like is like mushrooms, and there's a wide variety of different mushrooms and things you can eat. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't like mushrooms. You probably don't like portobello mushrooms, but there's so many different types of mushrooms, different textures, tastes, etc. You just got to open yourself up to it. So the best way to avoid yo-yoing is to make a gradual change, and allow yourself to have those bad foods as you're changing. We're just going to manage the frequency at which we eat these foods. And then if you couple this idea and this plan with a fasting regimen, oh, you're really good. Or if liver flush regimen or a detoxification regimen, if you're doing the right things more often than you're doing the wrong things, you don't have to feel guilty when you go and get that pizza, or when you go and get that hamburger, or whatever, that Chinese buffet, whatever it may be for you, because well, I used to eat that stuff once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times a week, and now I'm only eating it once every 2 weeks, or now I'm only eating it a couple of times a month, right? So that is my advice for avoiding the yo-yoing diet. Be consistent, make the determination. It's a lifestyle change. Take baby steps. Really take the time to learn and incorporate new things into your diet, and enjoy life. There's so much out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power, and I will see you all next time.